Mr. Vice Chairman, your room is mine. I'm ready whenever you.
I don't think I have a.
Said you'll get here in a second. Let me get her.
Oh, I thought you said your mind.
Question is, do they bring glass? Yes, like getting old is like the most ridiculous thing. And I love the cataract surgery, but now I have to have cheaters.
Yeah.
So.
Getting old is not for.
The major part.
It beats the alternatives.
It does, it most definitely does. That's a good point.
I was gonna say something like that. Yep.
I'm gonna go just with what I know.
It could be a lot better, you never know.
All right.
Morning, Phil.
I just read it on this.
You ready? Yeah. All right, so we got plenty of people here, so, all right, so we can call this meeting to order. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and Jim, if you lead us in the pledge, that would be fantastic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ooh, can I get a roll call?
Logan,
Present.
Bullock,
Present.
Butler,
Here.
Freeman, Newquist,
Here.
Richmond, Trinier. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for August 12th, 2025? Motion Freeman. Can I get a roll call?
I have a second.
I got a second, that's right. Second, Richmond, okay. Now can I get a roll call?
Yes, you may. Logan,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Newquist,
Yes.
Richmond, Trinier. Nope. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. All right, so today we're gonna start with chapter 51. That's not what I want. Chapter 51, sewers and sewage disposal. And they actually have page numbers on them, so that's awesome.
I fall asleep when this reads.
Yeah, this is not even a long one.
Mr. Chair,
Go back to 51.
we continued 51 for me to get Sean Connors here from the Health Department. I was unable to do so. Could we continue that till October 14th?
I assume so, Chuck. We can do that, right? Yeah.
Just did.
Now, is that 51 or?
51 only.
Okay. All right, so then we're moving on to 55. 55 is long. No.
Yeah, it'll probably, 55 and 56 are both long. That'll probably take us most of the days anyway.
Do we need a motion or anything?
Yeah, I'd ask you formally move to,
Okay, can I get a motion to postpone 51 until next meeting?
Motion Butler.
Second Freeman.
Any previous?
Second, Newquist.
All in favor? All right. And that passes. Thank you, Phil.
Okay.
So moving on, to chapter 55, stormwater management.
Wait, what happened to 52 and?
we proved those last time.
They're gonna be on the executive. Maybe this.
No, probably next month for October. And I'm gonna intend to add these to them, hopefully.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Mock, if you want to go through.
Yeah, I'll go
there's
through from the beginning.
69 pages here. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and hit your light.
I'll go through any changes quickly. On page 2, I struck the effective date because it's going to be effective now. This was previously done where it was effective in the future.
Wait a second, I don't see that.
On page 2, under 51.88 in the index,
Oh, there it is.
I struck
55.
that out.
All right.
On page 3, the only thing I did was change the statutory citations to make them the current way.
Same with,
Same
page
with the
4.
page 4.
I didn't see anything on those pages either.
On page 5, I had to change the name of the statute because the state changed the name of the statute under number 11.
The Rivers, Lakes and Streams Act?
Yes, it used to be the previous name.
Okay. All right, so if you can hang on 1 second until everyone gets where we need to get to. We're on page 5, chapter
Number 11.
55.
I was looking for like where you crossed out, like, I was in the table.
Yeah, the table of contents, page 2. I just wanted to let you know why it was struck.
Thank you.
All right, is everybody there?
On page 5.
Yeah, we
Page
had to
5.
change the name of the state statute. They changed it.
Yeah, if you guys put your mics on, don't worry about turning them off until we get the feedback.
Okay. I'll wait till you call me now.
I added the Code of Federal Regulations after CFR because we want to not just go with an act, with the,
Right, change the
Initials.
acronyms, make sure they're spelled out. Micah?
Okay, so I'm reading through this and like number 12 talks about the National Flood Insurance Program, and that made me have to go and see if this thing exists. And I know that there are some proposals. I know that the National Flood Insurance Program is up to expire at the end of this month, unless Congress can pass something, or if they decide to keep it. Here's another one. So my biggest question is, with changes in the federal level, then we just have to keep coming back and fixing this?
if the changes are in the federal level, they'll be changed under Title 44. And if you look at number 13, it says complying with the rules of the National Flood Insurance Program codified in CFR Code of Federal Regulations Title 44. So automatically, we are adopting by reference what the federal government does.
Okay, so that keeps us covered until we can come
We
back.
keep it covered for as long as,
Okay.
until they repeal Title 44, we follow that.
And Title 44 is
The
FEMA?
That's the National Flood Insurance Programs in Title 44.
Okay. Now I have to go with that.
Another quick question.
Hang on, one second, Mr. Butler?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not, you just said turn them on, so I.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can leave it
When
on.
we get to my part, I'll speak up.
Ms. Newquist?
Thank you.
So under
you off?
number 12 then, are we okay? Because it says, that will make it available to communities, et cetera, by fulfilling the requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program. So if there's no National Flood Insurance Program, we don't have any requirements to,
Well, we also can't, if there's no National Flood Insurance Program, we can't make available their flood insurance because there's no
Right.
program. But as long as there's a program, how they set it up is it passes through, it gets approved by the county level for them to get their insurance.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do state level. They might have thought it was better to go local, and that's why it's county. We even cover the flood insurance for the incorporated areas in the county.
And I have another
Oh, yeah, go
question.
ahead.
Okay, number 18, I really wasn't sure the point of that, allowing the use of simple technologies whenever appropriate and realistic, but requiring the use of more sophisticated techniques. What exactly does that mean?
From what I understand, what that means is if you have soil erosion on the end of a stream or a river, simplistic techniques would be you dump a bunch of riprap rocks to stop the soil erosion. A more sophisticated thing may be pouring piers and concrete. So we're trying to go with the least expensive requirement to follow the rules, but have to use the expensive kind, we will.
Okay, so this is basically saying we want to do the minimal approach first and move up if we have to.
Right, we're allowing the use of minimal approach necessary and not making it overly burdensome on the property owners.
Got it. I just really wasn't sure, like, why would we have to spell that out, but I see what you're
It's,
saying.
it's a
Word.
guideline and it lets the public
Yeah.
know that that's our input.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Mock, back to you. Let's,
I don't think there's really any changes on page 6. On page 7, I was informed that the bulletin was no longer bulletin 7, but 70, but it's bulletin 75. And it was instituted in 2020 instead of 2019. And so I made that change because that's what they currently follow.
okay. Ms. Freeman?
I have a couple on here. Under the building section, I love that it says a structure that's principally above ground and enclosed by walls and a roof. Why is that other stuff there and is it necessary to keep it there?
They keep the other stuff there because they consider a building a gas or liquid storage tank. So your propane tank's technically not a building, but they consider it a building because it offsets water displacement.
But what about
Any-
a manufactured home and a mobile home? It still has a roof and a wall.
I have no idea why they list that.
It seemed like, wow.
It's what you guys originally listed the first time and I didn't see any reason to change it.
I don't care if it's in there, but I just was like curious.
And
Maybe sometimes they use those as site offices. That's why.
yeah, some of the manufactured homes are mobile. I mean, literally mobile. You could move them off the property.
We're on page 7,
I know, but you're talking about it in terms of.
building.
Building definition.
Watershed, all
Right.
that, so all of those,
Last section of that.
like you said,
paragraph.
offset
The
water.
term also includes
Done.
recreational vehicles and travel
and
trailers
it-
to be installed on site for more than 180 days.
And the reason that's necessary is because
Yeah, why is
they
that?
have to offset, through compensatory storage when they do something in the floodway. So, or the floodplain, I forget which one's which. But they take the square footage or the cubic footage, depending on how deep they are into the
Right.
flood area. And so they want to list all those. And that's why the RVs and travel trailers that are more mobile, they don't make you do the offset on.
Okay, well, that makes sense with the 180 days then.
There was one thing I needed to point out to you that Jackie sent me an email on.
Did you get that one too for page 11?
No,
Okay.
I got one for page 7. See where I put BFE, base flood elevation? She asked, why did I put that? Because on the page before, we list base flood elevation and it has BFE after it in parentheses with the definition. You can strike that out if you want. The reason I put that in is if a citizen looks at this, it usually uses BFE everywhere. And I thought if they went to the definitions, they might just go right to BFE. And then that would direct them to into the base flood elevation definition.
Say leave it.
But it's your guys' call.
I love
Jackie
that.
asked why and I sent her an email back, but I wanted you to know that that was a concern.
I love when we use acronyms and explain what they are.
Okay.
I do have one other one though.
Okay, and then, Ms. Bullock.
Pardon?
Oh, I thought you put your
You
line.
told me. Tell everybody to leave their mics on and now you've confused yourself.
I do have one more on
Yes.
this page. Under bulletin 75,
Yes.
after Momcillo Marcus, should we add or successor? Because later on in the packet, it talks about bulletin 75 or successor.
We,
And
no, because if it was or successor, that would address it in that period. This is under the definitions. In the definition, it tells you what bulletin 75 is. If it became a bulletin 80 and it was made by a different person or a different entity, it would no longer be bullet 75 and the definition wouldn't apply.
Okay,
At least that's was my thought process on that. And then Mr. James Angle was struck out because he no longer was involved. He retired or whatever before the bulletin switched.
Ms. Newquist.
So I want to go back to that building definition for a minute. This, I didn't think this the first time I read it through, but it's kind of the discussions kind of generated this. So where it says, the term also includes recreational vehicles and travel trailers to be installed on a site for more than 180 days. So, right now, you can get a temporary use permit for, what's essentially an RV vehicle or a motor home on a homestead site if, like, for example, there was damage to the property or you're living in a trailer while your new home is being built. And right now, that temporary use permit can be extended, I think, up to 4 times. So we're working, actually in land use, we're kind of working on changing that so that, because in my mind, 2 years is not a temporary use. But that's what it's my understanding that's what our ordinances say currently. So does that mean that if I've extended a temporary use permit, that's now classified as a building?
No, this is under the stormwater management. Probably 99% of those temporary buildings are not going to be in a floodway or a floodplain.
Okay,
If it was in a floodway or a floodplain and you gave that permit, the stormwater management applies to when you want to do new construction.
right.
That's not new construction, that's a rebuild. It wouldn't really affect it. This is limited to this
Okay,
purpose only, which means you have X number of square feet of surface that don't hold water.
got it.
You got to offset it with a bigger ditch in your yard.
Right.
And that's what that's referring to. It shouldn't affect.
So
what
this
you're-
shouldn't affect anything
No, it shouldn't
other
affect-
than.
other than this ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more questions on the building? No.
Okay, on 8, I didn't really make any changes.
Page 8. Page 9, you added disconnected impervious surface.
Yeah, that was requested. So you know how I did this? I sent over to land use, and I forgot which director, which boss of what division I sent it to. And they went through here and made suggestions. And they suggested that I have the disconnected impervious surface definition because that's something that they do use. And because it's usually a solar farm or a canopy, something new that wasn't in there before. And they wanted to have a definition of that and deal with that in other areas in here. So that's why that's there.
Any questions on that?
No, I thought it was a good ad.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Well, I can't take credit for it. Like I said, they changed it. I just incorporated it.
I thought it was
So
interesting.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I did think it was interesting how they added where the pillars go in, that concrete is considered as, part of their, as a structure. The foundations will count. So they can add that up. I thought that was
Well,
interesting.
you would, because again, it offsets water. If it can't be drained, the concrete keeps it from draining in that spot. You got to do something to offset it.
Yep, I thought it was brilliant. Sorry, Mr. Butler.
Mr. Butler.
You know what? I'm gonna wait till it gets a little further down when it gets readdressed. Because it adds like some square footages that I didn't understand, so I'll just wait.
Any more on 9? I don't see any.
Number 10, I really didn't have any changes.
Okay, so I have a question on 10. It mostly comes from member Trainier.
What word?
It says also page 11 and 10 and 11, page 10 and 11 under floodplain and floodplain elevation. Should we have the BFE base flood elevation? I don't really understand what she's.
These are only definitions. We have that definition elsewhere. You don't really need it twice.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Because this is still just definitions. This is not the nuts and bolts of the ordinance.
Okay, so it doesn't need I'm assuming it's the BFE because it's circled in a picture she sent.
Okay.
Just quick question, Vince.
BFE,
This is FP.
Or FP.
yeah. under, says also page 11, floodplain elevation, seems like it should be on page 10 under floodplain, and then the picture of the BFE.
Oh, that was sort of the same thing that I did with the previous one, which was the BFE. I put FPE in on page 11 as another, in case you just see the an acronym, and you don't know what it means to look up the definition, that refers you where to look. So on page 11, it says FPE floodplain elevation. Then you would go to the page before under floodplain elevation. And it should have something. Well, it has floodplain elevations in there. So that's the only reason I put that one in there. It was sort of the same as what she asked about on the other one.
Okay.
And it's your guys' call. We can take it out, but I was just trying to make it easier.
No, she was thinking it should be also in there, so.
Yeah, it is.
All right,
Just
you're good.
Yeah,
Ms. Newquist.
I should have asked this at the beginning. Are these our definitions or are they the state definitions?
Well, right
or-
now, there are definitions, but they could have came from the federal government or the state,
Okay,
but we put them into our
verbiage and our
verbiage. So they are
context.
our definitions, but we
Okay.
didn't create these. They came from other places.
Okay, got it.
Whoever works on this issue for land use that wrote this originally came up with these definitions.
Okay, I was just curious.
Except for the one like that we added, disconnected impervious surfaces. I'm sure they made that one up themselves because they saw a need and did that.
okay, I have to ask a question.
Yes.
It's, I'm noticing it, so on page 10, at the very top, we have Federal Emergency Management Agency, in parentheses, FEMA. But with our other acronyms that we like, especially the ones we have added, we have the acronym and then what it means.
No, we have it both ways. But we don't for FEMA, but FEMA is something most people deal with because of the tornadoes.
So
But-
does it matter if we are continuous through here, or is it okay that we're, I mean,
This seems like the correct way,
which way?
the way it is on 10.
Right? And then like back on page
I
7.
mean,
For CFS, we have cubic feet per second.
Right, we already used.
I don't know if we need to,
usually once in a paragraph or when it's being spoken of, you say the name and then you put the abbreviation. And then you can use the abbreviation after that.
right,
So this looks good. I guess it doesn't matter if just in front of it, just a matter of aesthetics.
because I actually didn't see FEMA until I was talking to member trainer, pointing out some things that I noticed, and I wanted to add FEMA, and she's like, Micah, it's right there. I'm like, oh, wow, there it is.
No, we originally did it consistently. I'm the one that threw in the FPE and BFP only to make it easier because we use those so many times.
Right, we're defining the acronyms, so I think
Right.
that's.
Yeah,
Somebody
we
is
do
okay.
it we did it the right way. I added those. And if you're worried more about style, like we should take them off. I was worried a little bit more about trying to make it easier for the citizens to read it.
Yeah, I think the style is just if you put it in the front or back of a sentence, I think that
It's
needs to
still
be
there.
there.
Yeah, it's still there. And we still put it the other way too.
I like,
We still have the floodplain elevation with FPE after it and BFE with the, the base flood elevation with the BFE after. We do have it that way still.
Yeah, just checking.
oh, geez, where are we at?
Oh, it's not doing next on now. Oh, there we go.
I'm looking at all these.
On the page 10, it says flood protection elevation. And then we've got FPE as floodplain elevation. So which one is it? Is it
Hold on.
protection or plain?
Good catch.
Well, I think that flood protection is just talking about
No, she's
anything.
saying-
No, I
No,
agree.
she's saying FPE is.
Is-
FP should be flood protection elevation. I used it wrong. I will change that to protection.
Maybe that's what Jack was trying to say.
Could be.
No, that is a good catch. I'll fix that.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Flood protection elevation. So it's staying as flood protection elevation?
yes, should be protection. We got to be consistent with that. I wrote it wrong in my head.
The floodplain is right above that
Right.
line, so, yeah.
I bet that's what she was talking about.
Where is it wrong?
So
Oh,
it
wait,
says
no.
flood
I see
protection.
that,
It's
yeah.
FPE, and then on the next page, he has.
Oh, on the next page, okay.
he puts-
Oh, right
yeah.
there, yep.
I have a different suggestion.
All right, let's hear it.
I think if you look at flood protection elevation,
FPE?
I think the FPE in parentheses should be stricken out of there. Here's why. Because the definition of that is the base elevation of the FPE plus 1 foot of freeboard. If we do that, it's,
Hang on a second.
when do we
It
ever
says-
end?
It says BFE. Is it
Oh, BFE. Oh, my mistake. All right, I read it wrong.
It's the elevation of the BFE to get you the FPE.
Yeah, we're right then. It's good. I read it- my eyes weren't working.
Because FEMAs.
Right, no,
The
it's,
ICNR
my eyes weren't working.
Oh, boy.
is
all right.
okay.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
Oh, sorry. Don't turn me off.
So are you changing the FPE?
No,
Okay.
I was bad. Yeah, I'm changing that. On page 11, the FP is gonna say flood protection elevation.
All right, excellent. Any more questions on 11? All right, Mr. Mock, you may take it away.
On 12, I made no changes. On 13, there were no changes. On 14, I just changed the statutory sites. On 15, I just changed there were no changes. And again, I didn't just review it. I had land use people that do it, review it to make sure it's still right. On 16, I added a definition for Will County Stormwater Management Committee because that must be mentioned somewhere else in the,
Definitely,
later down.
ordinance.
so I put that in as a definition. And then 17, we start the actual nuts and bolts of what the ordinance is for.
All right, so 55.020, general information.
I made no changes. I do not believe, at least on page 17.
Until you get to 3.
Right. And that was what they added for the solar farm things they asked me to add.
They is being land use?
Yes.
Okay.
And they said this was based on an ordinance that you guys already approved in February of 2022, but it never got put into this code of ordinance, but you passed a separate ordinance on it. So we adopted whatever language you passed. And that's why, remember how I usually strike out all the previous ordinances stuff? I left this one in because, again, because of grandfathering provisions, any solar farm, if we had any that were created before this, are not held to this standard. Only the ones created after that date are held to this standard.
All right. Anybody have any questions on number 3?
So, for 3?
3. Mr. Butler.
Yeah, this is the one I had a little question because I didn't understand the part where it talks about 25,000 square feet. I mean, is it per acre or is it like, how is that figured? I mean, if there, seems like it should be relevant to the size of the property or the area that the project is. So I just wasn't clear on how that calculation was come up with.
I do not know. That's what you guys previously passed in 22.
So
I don't know where that came from.
I think
I don't-
that's an, oh,
I don't know that I have the answer, but if I recall something from a couple years ago, if you go over 25,000 square feet, then they have to get
engineering done. And something from land use, I remember it from the cemetery issue we had and the phased driveway that they put in, had to stay below 25,000 feet. So I think it's something, I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to look to land use to get your answer to your question.
Yeah,
'Cause I
because I
don't know.
mean, then it would be, engineering needs to be provided for impervious areas with, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because then they start talking about water runoff and, because that was a pretty big piece of property and 25,000 square feet.
Well, here,
That's the magic.
I,
I
I-
think it's somewhere about the permitting later.
I think the answer is in this section. What it's saying is, in solar farm developments, solar panels will be considered disconnected and pervious. So they're considering pervious. You can, if it's under 25,000 square feet, your solar panels are considered pervious, which means you don't have to offset them as if they were impervious. And that's what I think they're referring to. As long as the total impervious surface on the ground is less than 25,000 square feet, which is gravel, pavement, asphalt, concrete, then the solar panels themselves will be considered pervious.
That makes sense, Phil, because they have a base that's maybe only this big
In your panels this
and the
big.
panel's this big, so what are we counting?
Right.
well, I guess I have a problem with that because like if you have a piece of property and you have, like what do you call it, a shelter or a pavilion,
Carport.
a pavilion that doesn't have any, it's the same thing, but yet they count that as square footage. Cause I know that, we've been out to some farms where, they would take in every single roof and use it as square footage. And then they were gonna make them turn a huge portion of their land into a retention pond. So it doesn't seem fair that, these companies can come in there and basically have the same thing, and add up to even more, but then not even be considered pervious.
What, but I believe what they're trying to say, or what the county board said when they passed this the first time, is you have your post in the ground, or two posts, however, 4 posts, and it holds a 10 by 10 solar panel. Even though the water can't go through the solar panel, it's gonna roll off. And when it rolls off, it's gonna hit the ground. And when it hits the ground, it's gonna soak into the ground as if it was pervious. And what they said is that's how they are going to measure or deal with solar panels suspended in the air, as long as these requirements are met. If your impervious area on the surface of the ground, though, is over 25,000 square feet, if you got gravel, asphalt, concrete, over 25,000 square feet, then those solar panels themselves will be added on to the impervious.
Yeah, and that's the part where I just like, how do you leave it open-ended like that? I mean, what if we're talking about 10,000 acres or we're talking about 100 acres?
Well, I assume if
The-
it's,
The difference, in the amount of affected area in proportion to the land is completely different. I just don't understand how you can just apply that without some calculation, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I mean, the same thing would apply to like a shelter. If you had a pavilion, the water's gonna come down and then it's gonna go off to the side and hit the ground. I just thought that it should be based on, this calculation should be based on a certain square footage of land. And that calculation should be applied the same so that, a smaller piece of land couldn't have more panels, or you could fit as many panels on a small piece of land as you could on a piece of land that was 10 times bigger, because the calculation would still be this,
There's no question.
So Dan, I think if I get what you're saying, you're basically saying, not that this would be the case, but let's say we had a proposed solar farm that was less than 25,000 square feet. I mean, there should be a smaller amount, allowed proportionately versus,
I would say that if it was a smaller piece of land, then you would have to have even less solar panels.
right, that's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
okay.
But on the converse then would be if it were a larger piece of land, are you saying that you would allow the impervious area to be greater than 25,000 feet?
Well, I'm just saying that there should be some sort of calculation that specifies, because if you're changing one of the variables, there's a different outcome.
Yeah,
And this just says one number, and
I get where you're coming from.
I just was curious as to how that worked.
I think we probably need to check with land use to see if these are actual, because we basically have to go by the state guidelines for solar farms. So I think,
It's, so that is number 3 of section C. If you read it, section C, go to page 17.
okay,
Exemptions from site runoff storage detention, site runoff storage is not required under the following circumstances. One of which is the sites are 160 acres or less, having river frontage. And then it talks about how big the site acre is and what the frontage is. And then it talks about solar farms. You don't need any site runoff storage for solar farms as long as it's, their impervious surface is less than 25,000 square feet on the total project. If the total project was 100,000 acres, you're gonna have more than 25,000 square feet of support beams and stuff for your solar panels. Then you gotta follow the other rules. This is an exemption for smaller
got
ones.
it.
And I think that's what they're referring to, that as long as it's this small, that it only has 25,000 square feet between roads, asphalt, panel posts, you don't need to have the extra detention. As soon as you get over that much, you got to have extra detention. And it doesn't matter what size the parcel is.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's what they're getting at.
So I did a really quick search and I found that it looks like the Will County planners may have borrowed that number from the Maryland Department of Energy, which
Could have.
puts 25,000 as the number, because apparently they've done some research and they found that number is the perfect number. So if that helps you at all, we didn't just decide.
But
I think we grabbed it from somebody else.
Yeah, but I think the reason that they put it in is they're saying you don't have to have a detention pond or offsite storage of water as long as your impervious is under 25,000 square feet.
Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense to me when you put it.
And even if your lot's only 25,000 square feet, they're saying that's small enough that the neighboring properties will absorb the water, I guess, is what they're saying.
So that the neighbor, so then it would be okay to shed your water to your neighboring properties and not manage it yourself?
That's appears what they're saying. What they're saying is you do not need site runoff storage requirements, detention, if it's under 25,000 square feet. And if you look at page, if you look up above that on page 17, under A, under B, look under B, number C. On B starts with applicability of sites runoff storage requirements, detention. And then it says C, existing multifamily or non-residential land uses on site 1 acre or more in size, on which new development after the effective date of this chapter in the aggregate of 25,000 square feet. They carved out that 25,000 square feet as long as it's an acre or more. Now, if you want language on C to say as long as it's an acre or more, we can add that and it'll match the other provision.
So 25,000 square feet is roughly 0.57 of an acre, so a little bit more than half an acre. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
So if
not
we
very
want to
big.
put
Very
in,
big, yeah.
I doubt we have any solar farms that are actually that
I
small.
think my house sits on a half acre.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know, anybody want to do anything with this section?
yeah. It looks to me like they're just trying to make it consistent with what they're doing for residential.
Mr. Butler, you good?
I'm not, I need to do a little bit more exploring on this because I'm getting the idea that if you have solar panels, that you're not responsible for the runoff of your water. And to me, that doesn't seem right, so,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna explore it a little bit more.
Perfect. Would you like to have someone from land use, next meeting come over and we can pass this?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
You good with that, Phil?
I have no trouble continuing. We already continuing one of them and they're not gonna go till the following months anyway.
Okay.
And again, it's better to get it right than to get it fast.
Yeah, so if we, Mr. Pelkey says he'll check into that. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. That's a good idea. That'll answer your questions. Hopefully, or provide new ones.
Right.
All right. And we'll let them know before they come here what they're gonna be talking
Oh, yeah,
about.
I'll call them today.
Okay.
Well,
So
just,
we don't,
and-
we don't want to blindside.
I
anybody.
understand. It sounds like there should be something that says per 5 acres or per 10 acres, because I agree, if you got 100,000 acres, 25,000 square feet is meaningless.
Mhm.
It
Why
might
do
be
you
a
have to,
driveway.
why do you have to count all the solar panels on it then?
Yeah,
It
this
should
is-
be
this is
some
a very
ratio.
small-
I can see where you're coming from on that.
It's a very small area. Ms. Newquist.
conversely, they're also basically saying, it sounds to me on the previous page then, that if you have less than 25,000 square feet, you're not responsible for your runoff.
No,
Onto
it
it.
only says you're not gonna add to your pervious surface the panels of the solar farm.
No, I'm not talking about solar farm. I'm talking about on the previous page.
Yeah, but that only said for existing. That's like a grandfather provision.
Oh, right, okay,
Yes. Letter C talks about existing.
Yeah, that was a grandfather
right.
provision.
It
they put
says,
in.
yeah, on which new development after the effective date of this chapter in the
Occurs.
aggregate exceeds 25,000. So, but it says on which new development, existing multifamily or non-residential land uses in which new development after the effective date, that suggests that if they're adding on, well, anyway, maybe we could ask land use to
Okay.
clarify that also.
Okay,
Land use
Somewhere I
supervisor.
heard that there was something with solar panels that they weren't responsible for the runoff or something. I've heard this from lawyers before so we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
unless that's part of the state preemption, I'll have to look up that statute. Because they did have that huge state preemption carve-out rule.
Yeah, so
So we'll have land use next meeting.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And health department. Under
Okay. Yeah.
55021, I didn't have any changes,
Okay.
except for the citation. I'm not even gonna mention them anymore as a change.
Now we see them in red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Page 20, you added successor updated bulletin.
Right,
So did you update the bulletin 70 to 75 throughout this entire?
yes,
So we don't have to talk about that again?
yes.
Okay,
That was where I put up that successor.
perfect.
And there, I'm the one that suggested to land use to put our successor updated bulletin only because it sounds like these bulletins can change every 2 to 3 years.
And then, okay, never mind. Ms. Bullock?
So that's gonna stay there forever. We never have to update the number again,
No, every time you could redo it. What I'm saying is,
but we don't have to now.
well, you don't have to, and if we forget to or don't do it, we can still enforce the most recent standards adopted by reference. In fact, there's a specific statute that says counties can adopt other codes or provisions by reference, and that's what we did there. On 55023, again, I just,
Just added the bullets in 75. okay.
right, no, if you look at number 55023 B1C, I didn't put 75. I just used the updated bulletin Northeast sectional code because that's whatever the Northeast sectional code is.
Okay.
And underneath it, it does refer to 75 or successor. But that's what they asked me that's what they suggested the language be.
All right.
And they're the ones that enforce it.
I don't see anything till
No,
24.
right.
And
They
you
have
didn't,
nothing on 20 even.
you did nothing in 24 except updated the ICL,
Right.
ICS, okay.
Yeah, I didn't even have to, even the circulars are still right on that.
Wow.
And 55035, I really didn't, no changes. And 55036, I added, or any most recent revision. There aren't no, 88 's still the most recent revision, but I want to always have that in there just so we automatically do what we're supposed to.
Okay. Now, quick question when we put these on the web, are these gonna be live links? I mean, is that gonna be a link to that revised section, or is that something we deal with in the back?
It could be.
Well, that's something, here's the problem. I went down and spoke to county clerk, not personally, but to one of her staffers, and said, I need feedback from you. Do you want to put these on the web yourself? Or do you want to still use American Standard Publishing? Or a different publisher? Right now, American Standard Publishing does it. They don't link it. They just put our words up. If we did in-house, we could link it. But that would be something that the county clerk would have to choose to want to do. I don't know if she's gonna say, I don't have the budget for it, or the
mean-
programmers for it.
It,
But all they do is, all she is the keeper of the records.
Okay.
You guys pass a law, she keeps it, makes it accessible.
Where are they
to the
now?
public. American Standard Publishing.
With probably 150 other municipalities?
Oh, maybe more.
Okay.
But it's, American Standard Publishing's information is on our website, but it's not the county clerk that publishes it. What she does is, when you pass a new ordinance, she mails it to them, and periodically they update it up once, twice, 5 times a year. I don't know how often.
I mean,
And we pay them a fee for that.
So if we do all this, they don't update it for 10 years.
They may not, but they do it faster than 10 years.
Mr. Butler?
it's a very simple thing to do.
I build websites. I know it's super simple.
You know, you just highlight it, click the link, put the address in where it is, boom. All of a sudden it's a hyperlink.
I just don't
Doesn't
understand
take but
why they don't.
maybe a minute
But
per.
right now, there's no,
One, but think
there
how
is no
many-
linking.
It's a lot of work to.
And you know what?
do that.
It's easy to cut and paste. Copy
Well,
it, paste
I
it in
think-
your search bar and it'll find it.
I
Oh, yeah,
think it's
nowadays
so
you can
hard.
right click it and they'll just search it
I
automatically.
think a lot of laws are so hard to track and to find out what's right. I think it's kind of nice if you're gonna just put all this stuff up here and just say 55 LLC 5-56012. I mean, well, that doesn't tell anybody anything. And honestly, if you go to look this up, which I do all the time, it's a pain in the butt. You'll get 2 or 3 other services you have to subscribe to just to find out what it says in detail. You might get one little, sentence. and you don't even get the document. So I think we're doing the people service by being able to direct them right to the actual document so that they can read in full context exactly what's happening.
Yeah, so maybe I opened up a can of worms, but that might be a discussion for once we're all done.
Well, that could be a discussion with the county clerk
Yeah.
and you guys in your budgeting process, if you want that done. You could make the suggestion to her and say, how much money would it need to create this system and maintain it? And we'll fund you for it.
I guess what I'd want to do is go and see how many people actually view this. If one or two people view it, then I probably wouldn't even do it.
There's no way to know.
Oh, sure, there's. Yeah, you would. I'm sure they keep track of that. There's metrics for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
50% of it's Dan.
No, I don't know. I
It
mean,
could be.
I can go to
It
the
could be
county clerk's
75%.
website and click on it. I don't think they know how many
100% they
individual
do,
people
yeah.
do it.
I'm sure they do. Webalizer does that. All statistics
Okay.
does that.
Anyone, every page is monitored,
Yeah. And if we
guaranteed.
don't do it, then shame on
Every
us.
page, you
Yeah.
could just say analytics and
It pops up.
comes right up, everything.
I think
Alright.
we would need, I mean, just doing this initially, linking all those statutes would be a huge undertaking.
I don't think it
so-
would be.
It's not a huge
No, it's not.
undertaking. It's simple.
Initially, but
How many
I'm,
pages are in the
Just in-
total ordinance book?
right, in terms of
Times
manpower.
3 or 4 of those on every page.
No, every
Every
provision
paragraph.
almost, all those things in parentheses that say our authority to do it, if you want to link that too. That's every one. The
Yeah.
55 ILCS 551062 merely says we have the legal ability to do this. If you wanted to link that too, I don't think that one's hardly worth linking, but you could. But I understand what you're saying, the stuff that's referenced actually in the laws.
Yeah, I'd probably want to see if it's even worth even doing. 'Cause
Even if you hypertext every single one to the complete document that they could look up themselves, that would be worth it. Just to find, it could be daunting just for people to try to find the actual statutes.
I agree, it would be well worth it, but I'm just saying there's a cost effectiveness here.
Well, what I
You
just,
know, and I think we need to get a scope of how many man hours would be required, who would do
what I just
this.
proposed, probably cut it down by 100-fold,
Mhm.
just to have the whole document brought up, as opposed to bringing them to that section.
Dan sounds like he's volunteering. I
Yeah,
think we just wait till the end and we give it to him.
and then where do we, I don't know, it just seems like it's a great idea, and I think it bears looking into, but I think we would need to scope it out as a project and.
Excellent.
And we'd have to do it by link because we couldn't put the text in because that's all copyrighted.
Right,
Like where it
Good
says
point.
the Urban Committee of the Association of Illinois Soil and Water Conservation District, the Green Book, chapters 1 through 5. We couldn't just put their chapters 1 through 5 in there without permission. Now, we could link it because then it's their content.
right, online, and they can.
So I
fill
mean,
it.
but we couldn't actually, so you couldn't do it the one way.
Okay.
You can only do it through linking.
Well, thank you for that information. 55-0.
Did we do 3-6?
36?
Yeah, that's where we left off. 'cause it
Oh,
was-
that's where I stopped. Yeah, the most recent vision. Okay.
Yep.
37,
No
Okay.
changes.
38,
No changes.
I love the ones that are like 5 lines long.
39,
No changes.
40. I don't see anything.
No.
41. You guys
No.
see something? Go ahead and stop me. 42,
No.
43. Now, mind you, we might not be changing anything, but we might want to update stuff, so. 43, 44, 45. Oh, this is easy. I like this. 46. Do we define what a private roadway is in the beginning? Do you remember, Phil?
No, I do not believe so. I don't believe we have public or private roadways designed. But I don't know, maybe it's my background. I just assume people know the difference. A public
define-
roadway is owned by the public and a private roadway is owned by anybody not the public.
Well,
We
we-
have some streets that are privately owned in Creek
gonna say-
Township.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're,
No, they're not. They look like any other street.
no, but you're wrong. If it's a street,
Yeah,
you may own lot line to lot line, but the easement above it is publicly owned.
No, we have some, I'm telling you, in Crete Township, we have some streets.
Oh, in the township.
That
When
are
you said Crete, I thought
actual-
you meant Crete, the city of.
No,
Crete.
they're actual private,
Oh, yeah.
they're roads and there's houses on them. But the people that live in the area are responsible for maintaining the road. It's a total private
Right.
road.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not a gated community and they're through streets in
No.
some instances. so.
yeah, no,
No, but
I-
it's on private property.
Yeah, and it's privately owned.
It is, but it's considered a private road, like
Right.
within the township.
It was
you know,
never
like
accepted
Laurel
by
Lane,
dedication.
and there's a couple other ones.
Yeah.
And
I have-
Monique Township, I think, has
I
one.
have property in Shanahan like that. It's
Okay.
on a private road. We
But I-
kept it private.
Okay, but I mean, this is like, it's not just one house, it's like actual multiple houses. It's a subdivision, basically,
It's a
with a
shared
private
driveway.
road going. No, it's a road. It's
Well,
not a driveway.
But
It's-
ultimately, it's a road to their driveway.
No, you can actually enter Laurel Lane off of Egyptian Trail and you can come out of Laurel Lane on Route 50. It's
Without-
an actual road. It's insane. And we have several of them and they inevitably deteriorate into who's going to take care of the road. But that to me would be a private road, along with the case where you've got a road that's really a private driveway.
But for the purposes of this definition, 55046, neither one needs to be, have a definition because it's letting you know, no matter which way it's owned.
Okay,
You gotta
Perfect.
follow these
Private,
rules.
Alright.
I'm good with that.
All right, good.
Sorry.
Yeah. 46 is good. So 47.
No changes.
There is no 48. 60, 55.060. Was that general information or just
No,
general?
that's the opening for all these, the table
I
that's
didn't
coming
really
next.
Understand that.
General?
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at that, protection of special management areas, general, it talks about it. And then it has tables that apply for the floodplains. And these are the exact same tables you've already using.
Okay.
Took me forever to figure out how to duplicate them, but I was able to finally.
IDNR and OWR is it's all defined in definitions
Yes.
earlier. SFHA is also defined.
Yes.
Yeah, there's your
Awesome.
BFE.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what's LOMR? I don't remember seeing
No,
that
that's
one.
in there too. I had to ask what they were. I didn't know what they were, but they're in the definitions now.
Lots, a lot of them.
Yeah, whoever does flood control likes these definitions or these acronyms.
I'm thinking the prior military or something. So nothing on page 32 then?
No,
55.062, general performance standards. More.
and that's the same as you have now, and it's what we currently use.
I didn't have any, I didn't,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I didn't have any.
And again, I asked them if we needed to update or change anything, and they said, these are good. When they had changes, they gave it to me and I incorporated them through redlining.
So I do understand size, but I remember somewhere in here talked about the price of a building.
Right. On page 36, number 4A5.
Yeah, so in value to less than, buildings, they go up in value, so I mean, how do they put a dollar amount on something like that? Because a building that's $7,000 10 years ago is probably, it's probably $50,000 now.
I think they only go from initial construction cost or cost
Okay.
because it's dealing with like
I was just curious.
insurance issues and things.
Okay, I was just, because dollars fluctuate so much. Obviously, square feet's not gonna change. I mean, the building's gonna stay the same size, but, all right.
Otherwise, you'd have to ban all buildings. And what they want to do is they want you to build them at a certain construction level. And they could have said stick built or something, but they used the dollar amount. But if you had a 6,000 square foot floor size that was made out of marble, it would be way over 7,500 versus your normal building or whatever. And again, part of this has to do with insurance issues.
All right. Ms. Freeman.
So I just, as I was reading this, I kept having to remind myself, one of all the acronyms, but two, I had to remind myself, my mother owns a small fishing cabin in the UP in Wisconsin. And they're really trying to get these cabins away from the water lines. So, you know, $7,500, that's basically the cost of a shed right now. They really don't want the shed anywhere near a floodplain. So if you're on a lake, a river, a stream, even though this lake that she's on is lily pads, there's not really much water in it anymore. But at one time there was, so it could always fill back up as they're thinking. So they have all these rules that, and these low prices, so that when you do want to do anything, then it's considered a floodplain,
Oh, I gotcha.
and then you can't. So that they'll eventually fall down and you can't have your house there anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, any more questions on that section? 55063,
No changes.
64,
I believe no changes. But let me get through it all. Yeah, there were no changes.
This one's talking about it too, but you know, make a modification.
put your button on.
Like K on page 38 is talking about, you know, if you want to do a repair, it has to be less than 50% of the value of the house. So if your shed is worth 7,000, you can only do a repair that's very minimal. Put on a roof,
Try to do the math in your head, aren't
Right.
you? Yeah.
and it just gets rid of stuff.
That makes sense. 65, riverine floodplain. I don't even know what a riverine floodplain is.
You need to go back to the definition.
Yep.
Is that even in the definition?
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a creek.
Oh, why don't we say creek?
Because it's not a creek.
It's a creek. Creek,
There you go.
It's a creek. It's a creaky creek.
As the person who made that wants to use that word.
Yeah. All right, so nothing in
Nothing
65,
50, 65.
66,
That has not changed either.
a little bit longer.
Oh, I have to be the obnoxious person now.
No, please.
Push the button.
My mic, you don't have to turn yours on.
I don't know. I would listen to all you guys be the obnoxious people. I want to be one. No, seriously. And I don't know what page it's on now because mine is numbered differently because they're the back-to-backs. But
What section?
it's in the definitions and it's really not a big deal. Thalweg, you spelled it with an E, so in the definitions, it's still spelled with an A.
Which is?
Thalweg.
Hold on.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I have page 16, but I know that's not it for you.
16?
It's not for you. Hold on, where's the one sided?
Onto the R's.
You're not
I
helping.
just looked up hallway crew.
There it is.
It's on page 16.
Oh, it is 16. Look at that.
Hallway, it's halfway down. It's on this page with an A is what you're saying, and it should be an E.
He corrected it to an E in the last sentence, so.
Oh, it's
Oh,
A
wait.
supposed to be the correct way.
Okay, then turn back a couple pages and it's in there as an E.
I missed that.
14.
I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was. And that's how you spell it with an A.
Okay.
So on
You
page
sure?
14,
Yeah.
Oh, wag.
Because I didn't know what it was. And so I got to double check
Oh,
And Google spell with an E.
with an E.
Oh, yeah, because you've got Thalweg crossed out and Thalweg.
Well, then I got it wrong in the definition. That should be an E.
Alright.
All right, I knew it was one way. I was wrong.
One way or the other.
Yeah, no, it was only one way and we had it wrong. I didn't catch it in the definition.
The line that follows the lowest points along the bed of a river or stream.
Lowest point in the channel, Thalweg.
What page are we back on?
And a riverine is related to the Galway in a sense.
Now, did you see that way somewhere else that you?
No, that was it.
All right. Oops. 55.80.80. Is that where we're at now?
Yes.
All right. I don't see anything there except
Yeah,
for
I
the
didn't see nothing
ILCF.
there.
Let's see.
081, nothing.
Nope, no change.
Zero eight two. 082 has a table,
Yeah.
And it's the same tables you use.
and landfill didn't want to update any of those permits or anything?
No,
Okay.
they made no suggestions to change anything.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
So at the bottom of that little chart, it says note corporations with a bond rating of an A or higher from a major investment firm. They have different rules?
Yes,
Is that fair?
if they figure they have a sufficient net worth to pay it out of their own money, they're not requiring them to get additional insurance or funding because they could be self-insured because they're so big. And I think it would be fair. We don't care about how it gets paid as long as there's sufficient assets to do it. And the reasoning, I believe, behind it is if we feel they don't have a bond rating of A or higher, they may not have sufficient assets, so we want them to have a backup plan. But the default is if you are good enough to do it yourself, you're okay to do it yourself.
But I think they would be able to afford to get.
Yeah, but why, it's sort of like with all your building rules and regulations and your bonds, your performance bonds and things, you treat different companies differently because a fly-by-night agency that may default, you want to have sufficient funding for. And why do you want to put additional costs on companies to do business in our community if we don't need to?
It's,
And again, that's your guys' call. You can take that out.
I
But
leave
that,
it in there because there's many that are self-insured.
right,
Yeah.
and you want to encourage business in our county. So you don't want to put a burden on somebody unless they were a risky enough person you need to put that burden on.
Because there's a cost to a bid bond, a performance bond and
Oh,
all that kind of
definitely,
stuff. And it's
definitely.
based by per thousands or per hundreds of thousands, so it could be significant.
Just look like Lion Electric. It comes in, it's got a lot of concrete, I mean, we're talking flood and stormwater and, they went out. I mean, large corporations can go out of business, that's all.
Yeah, but did they have a A rating before they went out of business, or when they did it, they may not have had that good of a rating because they were brand new.
Yeah.
and
Just
a
very
lot of,
simple.
Yeah.
a lot of smaller companies aren't going to, pay to get rated. It's quite a process to get rated by the rating agencies, so.
I mean, do you want to put into something where they just have to show that they have insurance? Is that what you're looking for?
I just was curious about why they have different rules.
Well, they still, some of them, I mean, certain projects, they still need a bond, correct? I mean, this is just for the stormwater piece of this, correct?
It's only,
Oh, no, this is the permitting, I'm
it's only
sorry.
for the 55.083B maintenance schedule and funding.
Right,
And if you have sufficient funds already, they don't make you prove all these things.
yep, and this, but I guess what I'm saying is, this basically still all refers to stormwater and flood management,
Right,
correct?
Right, it only refers
Not
to
the
that.
general building guidelines or permitting or anything like that. So yeah, so I would think that would be sufficient. I don't know.
But again, it's your guys' call. It's what you currently not you, but a prior board currently decided was effective and okay.
And land use is okay with all of
And they're
this,
okay
right?
with it. They never said we had a problem with it.
Okay.
Well, doesn't land use enforce their own grades and stuff for stormwater runoff and, you know?
No. They enforce it ultimately, but they don't go out and check it. It's self authenticated. If
Well,
you're,
you have to have licensed engineers.
Right.
Who sign off on it to say what it is. And
Right.
I get what you're talking about,
Yeah.
because I did try to see if we could create a fund where we could have an engineer check that stuff off, because going out to these properties and seeing stuff that's wrong.
sometimes they lie, you're right. But.
But that's
but we
probably
don't.
why they don't,
Yeah.
require this, because technically, you're supposed to have these licensed engineers that approve it.
Ms. Freeman, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Moving on, I don't see anything on page 44,
No.
45, or 46. 47 starts 55.083 submittals prior to permit issuance.
And that really hadn't changed.
84 record drawings.
No change.
85 issuance or denial.
No change.
Now we're getting down to the long-term maintenance, 55.100.
Again, no change.
101 transfer to permitting authority or other public entity. It's one sentence.
Right, that's no
One
change.
sentence. 102 transfer to homeowners or civil association.
No change.
Okay, seeing nothing, we'll keep on going. 103 conveyance to one or more persons.
No change.
104 incorporation of maintenance obligations and stormwater management permit.
Again, no change.
105 funding.
There is no change on this, and that's where they talk about
Yeah,
more or
they're
less the reasons why they
derated.
do it.
Yeah, I see once again, they mentioned standard and Poor Moody or.
Yeah.
So who's the administrator? When it talks about the administrator.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the name of the person, but I know your stormwater,
We have an administrator.
yeah, but it's not, they do more than one job, but they're called the administrator. It's
I
sort of
don't-
like you got a zoning administrator.
I don't know why I missed that before, but it's mentioned quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any questions about that whole section? Next, we're going on to general provisions. 55.120, scope of regulation. There's nothing in there. 121 exemptions.
And I put the effective date in because again, a grandfather provisions. The original one, the bill, if you look what I crossed out, it showed that resolution 202441 was passed 10/17. I added that in under number 1 because I'm striking it out at the bottom so everybody would look and say, if we built after this date, it's one set of rules. If we built before, it's another.
Right, any questions on that? All right, moving on, 122.
No changes.
I just have a quick question about this one.
Yes.
And maybe this is defined in,
122.
yeah, on A, one. Maybe this is defined and I just, it's been, I missed it. Number 1, a site-specific stormwater plan, master plan, or regional master plan has been submitted and substantially approved by the community engineer. So does that mean that, like, who is the community engineer?
If Joliet had a city engineer that dealt with stormwater management, he'd be the community engineer.
Okay, so like if a subdivision or a neighborhood or,
That's not a community.
okay,
that's not a
the
community.
community is as defined. Okay,
A community is, remember, stormwater management is one of the few areas where you have the right to enforce it against municipalities.
yep,
However, you can also designate municipalities to enforce up to your standards. They have to, in fact, you don't empower them. They have the ability to say, I am going to enforce this internally, but it has to be up to your standards.
Got it.
So their community engineer, if they use one, does it, but he does it by your standards because water problems are so area wide. Community borders, municipal borders do not stop the water where it flows.
And see, I was kind of reading this as the community engineer could say, it's okay, guys, we got this, we're
Well,
good. you
that's
know?
what this is talking about. When this law first passed, when you guys first did this in '02, there were already things in motion. We were doing a lot of building back in '02.
Yeah,
And if ABC subdivision was already a plat approved and the municipality approved it, what they're supposed to do is give a list to the county into the stormwater management committee type people that says ABC subdivision already is in existence, even though it's not built out. It's exempt from these rules because these rules only go forward. Because if you make them retroactive, it's a taking and then you have to pay
Right.
money to the people for your damages.
right,
So that's what this is talking about.
okay,
I left this in here. This was originally put in there so they could create a list, but they can't create one anymore. But I left it in here because they did create a list and they had to have it. It says after January 1st, 2004, the list may not be changed without review of the whole committee. So I could come in now and say, could I please get an exemption? I'm Rockdale. I want an exemption of this. And if the whole stormwater management committee approved that, then it wouldn't have to follow the rule for that.
so my community engineer can no longer,
Correct. After
Create the
January 1st, you
exemption.
can't do it. of
Okay, got it.
2004.
but you just have it in there because there are,
Because there's some in existence, and if we want to try to enforce something, you gotta delineate
right,
old from new.
got it, okay, thank you, that makes sense.
Cool. Any more questions on the exemptions? Chair Van Dyne, did you want to weigh in on anything or you're just visiting?
Just visiting, and I'm happy to see that everybody's just informal and going right through this stuff. It's
Awesome.
nice to see. Thank you.
Yeah, we run this committee just a little bit differently, I think. 122. Anything on that one?
No.
123, interpretation.
No, that hasn't changed from what you've already adopted.
124, warning and disclaimer of liabilities.
Same, no changes from what's there.
125,
No changes,
126.
no changes.
So what is the consequence if someone did undertake a development?
Well, you'd have the state's attorney and it
Is
could.
that anywhere in here? Do we list what the consequence is? Am I,
I do
'cause I didn't
not,
see anything. I just saw what
When we say
violation.
it's unlawful, I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, is this criminal? Is this civil? Is this,
no, it's not criminal, it's civil.
so then our civil state's attorneys would go after somebody?
Right, you'd go after somebody and what we're interested in is specific compliance. There is a penalty provision of 55,999
Okay,
that does have fines.
Right.
But we would never do fines on this. The fines aren't sufficient. You're not gonna let somebody buy their way out of following the rules because it affects other people because of the
Correct.
flooding.
correct.
You go in and you get a court order, and I've done it in the past,
Just cease and
to,
desist
to
or cease
make
and
your,
halt.
make your property the way it was. And if they don't do that, you get a court order that says the county hires ABC Construction to go in and cut your riverbank different and put a lien on the property for the $50,000 it costs to do it.
Do we need to put that in here anywhere?
No?
Okay, moving
No,
on.
that's part of injunctive relief, and we have the ability to do that to correct it.
Okay,
All statutes can be enforced by injunctive relief. You can get a court order to follow the law to anybody. You just have to show that there's a violation first.
okay, which this,
I mean, it's how we do our septics that leak. It doesn't say we have the right to go in and do it, but we go in and we get a search warrant, we do a dye test. And then if we see it percolates up out of the ground, then we flag their system. And if they don't want to fix it, we disconnect them from it. I mean, but that's all done, not what our statute says. It's done on the enforcement court end of the right to enforce our ordinances.
Okay, that makes sense. 127 amendments. You add some stuff in there.
I changed the names of the committee. Because it used to be Land Use and Zoning and now it's Land Use and Development Committee. That's all.
All right, seeing no questions, variances, purpose 140. Nothing there.
Nothing there.
141 application for variance.
That has not changed.
Ms. Newquist has a question.
I have a general question on variances. So we, the board, we don't vote on variances. That's all PZC.
No. This is Stormwater Management Committee gives the
Oh,
variance.
right. Okay, sorry. So we vote on stormwater.
You don't, the Stormwater Management
So the
Committee does.
Stormwater Management Committee does.
That's why we have a
Strictly.
Stormwater Management Committee.
Got it.
And Mr. Butler is on that committee.
Similar to PZC, like they
Right, it's
do the
like, it
variances.
works like that, but
Okay,
the reason you have that is they may not have began as specialists in stormwater, but they are by doing it for so long that's their concerns.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a clue as to whether we should allow a variance or not for the most part, really. But it is also a little, I don't know. I've often gone back and forth about should we be, is that state law
What?
where?
Yeah, that's how the state law set up stormwater. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the ability to enforce in municipal areas because they have seats on the board too.
Got it. We couldn't, we, the county board.
No, we couldn't
could not
enforce against the
enforce
municipality, but the
Okay.
state created
The
the
stormwater.
Stormwater Management Committee that involves certain members from the county, certain from
And
municipality.
they have,
And altogether,
authority.
they are
Got
the
it.
board that controls.
yep, okay, thank you.
But we get the legislative ability to write the rules they have to follow.
Right,
That's what the county board gets.
And we are lucky that Member Butler is on that committee, so.
mhm.
You don't have enough time for that, Joe?
It's gifted.
Application for variance. I see just the standard add-ons in there. Decision. 146, nothing new in there.
No,
147, conditions.
that's not new either.
Administration, 160. Yeah, I got a question too, but put your mic on and I will throw it on there. There you go.
Just going to,
For a second.
Okay.
in 55-147 conditions, in granting a variance, the county board or corporate authorities, is that what the stormwater management group is then?
No, what starts is you file at your local, because it's building related. I go to the village of Bolingbrook and say, I need a variance, and you start the process there. Their people work on it and forward it up to the Stormwater Management Committee. Then the Stormwater Management Committee, it goes through the administrator or the director of the Stormwater Management Committee, and then they bring it to the Stormwater Management Board to give the variance. That's my understanding of the process.
So does the county board need to be in there?
Well, where are you at?
55-147 conditions. B.
Yeah, because in granting a variance, the county board of corporate authorities may impose specific conditions. And you get a special use permit. Part of your special use permit for multi-zoning or for whatever it is may have specific conditions that involve stormwater management. Same with the municipalities. The stormwater management is involving all new building within floodplains or floodways. Buildings are controlled by either the county board or the corporate authorities. That's why you're in there under conditions.
Yeah, I suppose you could. Ms. Freeman,
So, Bill, I know with like land use cases, if you're a variance, you can't add special conditions, but for stormwater, you can?
Yes, because this is a stormwater issue. If you want to build in a floodplain,
Okay.
that's not a zoning issue. That is a stormwater management issue. It's two different sets of rules. If you want to build on less than 5 acres, that's a zoning condition if you're supposed to have 5 acres to build on. They're two different things.
Right, but what Mike is saying is that we're not allowed to apply conditions
But you are under
to
stormwater.
variances.
That's what I was trying to.
Okay.
That's because one's a zoning rule and
Yeah,
one's
this
a
is stormwater.
stormwater rule.
If
Got
it's
it.
water, you can. If it's land, you can't.
It's
You know,
what
we've been
this,
talking about this for a long time, and we have a really hard time sticking
It's-
to the idea that it's stormwater.
It is hard to
Yep.
get your.
I know, it
codes.
is.
that's why we have zero power unless the state gives it to us, and they gave it to us this way. They gave it to one way for zoning, they gave it to you another way for stormwater.
I was just checking. Thank you.
In all my years on land use, I don't ever remember talking about a variance for stormwater management.
It probably never came up.
Yeah, yeah,
It probably never gets to you
yeah,
because they solve it
right,
below that level.
thankfully.
You don't add that to solar farms?
yeah, really.
Bite your tongue.
55.160. Responsibility for administration. Anything changes in there? So who's the director then?
That's
I don't know who the people are. I know they have them, but I didn't ask who they were.
Is this land use or stormwater?
No, this is stormwater.
Okay.
They have both a director and an administrator that do different things.
I love it.
Well,
I know.
Yeah.
I know when we talk about they, it's land use, so I don't know who they is now, so.
Yeah.
All right, all right, here you go, duties of the director. So that's not changing.
No. Nobody suggested any changes.
I'm really surprised they haven't suggested any changes, really. I mean.
Probably because nothing ever comes up with it.
Well, they do. I used to be assigned to the Stormwater Committee for probably 12 years. And they have their meetings and they do it, but a lot of it's perfunctory because they don't get a lot of asks. They were very busy at first in 2004 because of the exemptions and all that.
Mhm.
But most people come in and know, I can't build in a floodplain. I can't build in a floodway. Most of our property like that is agriculture. There's no building involved.
Right.
It
that's a good point.
is, you keep crops and the developers know, I'm not gonna buy this guy's 20 acres next to the river for a subdivision because I can't build on it anyway.
Right.
So it just doesn't really come up as much.
That's a good point. 162, duties of administrator.
There were no changes there. Nobody suggested any.
163, representative capacity. Nothing.
Nothing.
164, oversight committee.
And that's, no, nothing.
Is the
Oh,
over-
wait.
Do we have an oversight?
Is the oversight committee within the stormwater committee?
No,
Oh,
they each have their own oversight committees. And I
Well,
gotta
maybe
modify
more than-
this because I said the land use committee. Well, I referred to the earlier in the definitions when I changed it. I did leave it that the land use committee shall be used in the future, but your land use and planning committee, if that's what it's called now, is the committee that's the oversight.
okay.
But that would only come if there was an oversight issue, and it usually never gets there. And I didn't capitalize CN County on 55-164. I'll double check them all again. We should capitalize the last word of that section.
You're gonna rework this section too before back to this.
Well, next month, because next month we're bringing it back because of the staff coming.
So Phil,
And I can have them find out who the names of the director and the administrator are and have it for you next time.
Does member Butler know?
Well, there's an engineer and then,
Who's the director?
I don't know. I just know that Ford is the president, so,
All right, yeah, maybe we could,
I'll find out.
okay.
Phil,
or the chair, I should
does it have
say.
to say land use and development committee, or is it just land use okay? Is that?
Well, I put land use because when I cited it the first time, I said here and after call land use.
Okay, oh,
Because
yeah.
I knew it was
yeah,
there.
All right, yes, good. Yeah, I forgot,
What
sorry.
was I gonna, let me see.
Well, why? I don't think it really matters if we know the name.
No, it doesn't.
They simply said-
But it's nice to know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not putting it in there, but it's informational. I'll get it for you.
because the positions never change, but the people do, so, all right.
So I don't know, Dawn seems to be pretty much in charge of just about all of it. Tomzak, it,
Oh.
for stormwater. I was replying back to, well, and Dawn here is just pretty much runs the show, so.
I was gonna say,
but
we all just do it.
I don't know what her position exactly is, but she's definitely, pretty high up there in the administration of the whole program.
Okay, so any more on 164? We're good with that? 165?
165 wasn't a change, but I wanted to let you know the difference. They talk about certified and non-certified. Certified committees are the ones that are big enough to have their own staff involving, and they were originally set up as being certified, and those are the ones where they can apply to, say, Joliet or Bolingbrook or Romeoville for these processes. Non-certified committees would be like Rockdale, Crest Hill. They're too small to do it, and I just wanted to let you know what the difference was.
Okay. So who would certify them then?
The stormwater, the stormwater management committee originally decided who was certified and who's, anybody that they did not consider certified were considered non-certified
Okay, by default. Okay,
by default.
all right. We don't need to put that in there, do we?
No. I just wanted you to know why they're mentioning two different things and treating them differently, because some have like engineers and specialists on staff and some don't.
Gotcha. And we're gonna capitalize county throughout this.
Yes, I will go through it and I'll do a search under county for lowercase c. And I didn't do it, and I'll do it.
166 service,
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that hasn't changed.
167 publication.
And that hasn't changed.
Should we mention any type of social media publication? Because it says newspapers. I don't even know if newspapers.
By,
are-
it still is. It's publication by state law is still newspapers.
Oh,
They have bills periodically that they put in Springfield to have it, like Secretary of State websites considered a publication, and there are websites that read all newspapers, publications, and print them on the website.
okay.
But I think the news print is really weak, but they're strong enough of a lobby still to require these publications so they can get income. I mean, that's, legal notice is one of the few things keeping them going.
Certified community enforcement, 180,
There was no changes.
181,
No changes.
182, filing and contents of petitions.
That has no changes either.
183, committee consideration of petition for certification.
No changes.
184, standards for grant of petition.
That had no changes.
185, certified community records.
That had no changes.
186, committee review of enforcement by a certified community.
That had no changes.
187, investigations and complaints.
That had no changes.
188, hearing on complaint.
That hasn't changed.
189, committee decision.
That has not changed or been recommended to change.
200, general security requirements.
That hasn't changed.
201, development security.
Not changed either.
202, sediment and erosion control security.
That hasn't changed.
203, letters of credit.
That has not changed.
All right, page 66, fee in lieu of on-site detention, 215.
That has not changed.
Oh, this is exciting. We're getting towards the end. Enforcement, inspection and maintenance authority, 230.
No change.
231, required inspections.
No change.
232 is offenses, page 67.
That had no changes.
Seeing nobody, we'll keep on going. 245, adoption by reference.
Again, that has not changed.
And then 55.999, penalty.
That has not changed, and they did not suggest that I change the fines either.
They're good with those fines. Well, those fines seem to be kind of
Standard.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what section it was, but one of the sections, and maybe I think it's more in the sevens when we get to those. They did recommend a $500 change to 1,000 because 500 wasn't enough for whatever they were dealing with. But we'll get to that whenever we get to that. So they do, when they think it's appropriate, do make suggestions.
I do have a question about, so the $25 fine,
Yes.
I mean, what if I just go, oh, $25, I pay the fine, I don't correct the condition?
We still have the right to go in and stop through enforcement through injunctive relief.
Okay,
The $25 to $750 is gonna be something minor. Say you're supposed to have a silt erosion fence, one of them little black things to stop the dirt from running into your neighbor,
yep,
and say you didn't have one. Your project's done. You no longer need one, so there's no mandatory injunction to make you have one. And no damage was really done to your neighbors, but we still want to punish you for doing it. We go in and get a fine.
but what if my project's ongoing and I just
Then we
won't
get
do it?
injunctive relief and make you do it the right way.
Okay.
Or if there's damage to the neighbor, then we
We
make
get
it,
injunctive relief.
yeah,
too.
or we
Okay,
make it more like the $750 and the neighbor sues you for his damages.
got it.
We don't have injunctive relief as a definition in here, do we?
No, but
Okay.
we do say it can be enforced, and that's one of the ways you enforce things.
Okay. I think now I'm to the end, aren't we?
Right. Now, that was the end, and we're into 56 next. We're waiting. I will correct
Yeah, so-
everything we mentioned, and it'll go to you next month again,
We got-
but we won't have to go through it in detail. We'll deal with the one little section and
So can I get a motion to suspend this, I guess, until, move till next month?
yeah, just
Well, we can have land
continue
use
till
come in.
next month.
Okay, so is that a motion?
Chapter
55.
the next month so that, land use can be here.
Second, Butler.
Previous Richmond.
All in favor?
I,
The ayes have it. Motion passes. All right, so we've got 20 minutes. Do we dive into 56?
I don't have 56, I don't think. Me.
That's what I'm thinking. We can do the definitions for sure, right?
Yeah, we can start part of it. Because so you know, for October, besides 51 and 55 and 56, I'm gonna send to you all the sevens.
Okay,
I got all the, in sevens only got, I think like 7 parts. It's not real big. I have all of them approved through the people that use them, actually. I sent them to them and got input back, except for one from the sheriff, and I'm meeting with them next Tuesday. It's like a towing thing or something. But
admin toes and stuff?
yeah, that's what it is, the administrative towing. We're gonna have a meeting a week from today on it. That's the earliest we could set it up.
Okay.
And, but you'll receive all the sevens besides these. And I don't expect them to get done, but I'm gonna get them out to you right after that Tuesday meeting next week. So you can start, looking at them.
Excellent.
See if we start, we have like 20 minutes before it starts.
Article 7? I have no idea. I just know there's like 7 of them and two of them involve the police. 2 of them involve something else, but I don't remember what they are. I don't know what the heading is. I apologize.
So what would be the consensus? Start on this or end now and give people 10 minutes to go relax and get ready for the next meeting
Or prepare.
or prepare?
Yeah, no trouble ending. I mean,
Okay,
I think we should
I'm okay with
end
that.
it.
yeah, I will,
Can I get the rest of?
That was a good run.
the rest
I'm
of
gonna-
the
Got through a couple big
pictures?
chapters, did pretty good.
I'm gonna
Just like
send,
the old days, man.
I know you guys are getting tired of it.
No?
I'm gonna send you brand new of all of these 3 because I want to double check for the Cs for the county. And I'll give it another quick look over. But how I email them out is I email them out with like a new date. And they'll have like it'll be a September date on them instead of the August date I sent before or whatever it was. But I will send you new ones.
The red line.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so to make it nice and clean, can I get a motion to postpone chapter 56, or amending chapter 56 until next meeting?
Didn't we just do that?
Now we did 55.
Motion,
We did
That
Butler.
was
55.
55, right?
Got
I'll
a
make-
motion, second Freeman, can I get
Previous
previous,
Newquist.
Newquist?
Second, Richmond.
Butler, second. Newquist was previous. And who's second the previous?
Richmond.
Jim.
Richmond. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, ayes have it. Motion passes. So we will pick this up next month.
That's good.
Other old business, I see none. New business, public comment. I want to thank everybody for coming in today. Chair Van Dyne. Executive Bertino. I know we had member Ortiz, we had member Hickey. Any announcements? Any more public comment? No, public comment? Okay. Announcements? Any members? I got no reports. No executive session. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 10:43. Next meeting is October 14th.